better way to start the Friday with than to start with Thanksgiving. And that was Ife Grace, and that's featuring on gospel. And this one is a Ghanaian apostolic praise. Powerful praise songs there. Ife Grace, shout outs to you wherever you are this morning. I am enjoying myself, and I'm sure you're enjoying yourself too wherever you are. Well, but anyway, this is a business breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM with me, Trebi Hammond, and right here on your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform. Well, for your information, this is the only business morning show in the whole of this country. Yes. Only business morning show across the entire country, and you can only find it at on Z 101.9 FM, Z 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, your leisure, and business platform. We're bringing you business conversations from time to time. We're bringing you lifestyle conversations and things about your leisure, how you can take a holistic approach to your well-being as well. And these are the things that we talk about every day on this platform right here. This morning, I have a lot of things coming up for you. Of course, we're going to start with our news review segment. At exactly 7 o'clock, we'll bring you the business news, and then that will be followed by the business brief segment. I will come your way with that, and then we come your way again with the transport today. Solomon Tetenate will be serving you that this morning. He'll be telling you all the local flight schedules as well as the traffic situation in town, and then we get into our market trends segment with Emmanuel Boateng, our in-house economic analyst. We have a very important conversation coming up. We're looking at the markets this morning, and very important conversation. You don't want to miss it. And then, of course, we wrap everything up with our roundtable discussion. That is our big conversation this morning. And today we're talking about bipolar. Now, many people talk about bipolar. We hear of it. We see people. We even diagnose people on social media and all of that, which is wrong anyway. But many people actually do that and say, oh, this person seems to have bipolar. Meanwhile, they don't even know exactly what it is. This morning, we are breaking everything down. In other words, we are demystifying everything right here on the Business Breakfast on Zed. We'll break it down. What exactly is bipolar? How does it come about? How do people get it? Is there any cure? All these questions are questions we'll be asked, and we'll be asking this morning right here on the Business Breakfast on Zed. But of course, it's Friday, and so something good is happening in terms of our music. Playing you some good tunes right there, from gospel to all the genres that you can think of. Just wait for the surprise that I've got for you this morning. But these are the things that are coming your way. It's going to be a fantastic morning as always with me, Trebi Hammond, right here on the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and on YouTube at Zed Multimedia. Please drop a comment, share the link with your family and friends, follow us, do everything that you can do on the platform. And I'd love to hear from you, so drop the comments. Don't forget that one, to drop a comment, and I'll read them for you. Also, it's a very interactive show, like I always say. You can text me on WhatsApp 0544 321019 0544 321019, and I'll read your messages for you. If you have birthday wishes, feel free to send them to me, and I'll do you the honors this morning. It's Friday, so let's have fun, let's enjoy ourselves, let's learn, let's grow, let's become better and do better. And so let's not waste so much time. Let's get into what we have to do, and we're starting with our news review segment right away. Please stay tuned. And this morning, starting with my Joy Online Rights price relief, and also Mama enforces fuel coupon ban for ministers as cabinet moves to slash fuel taxes, and also police officer killed in road crash at Atotokope in Ada. And also this one says that Ghana less exposed to global oil disruptions, and that is from Fitch Solutions. Also 9 dead, 2 missing after boat capsizes on Volta Lake. And also don't expect instant relief. Comac CEO warns fuel price drops will be gradual. Also, NRSA stands firm on Toyota Voxy ban despite transport operators' opposition. And also, airline pilots fear retribution over refusing to fly in Middle East. Aviators group say so. Also, Melania Trump denies ties to Jeffrey Epstein and urges hearing for survivors. And also, U.S. has left in 4,499 refugees. U.S. has let in 4,499 refugees since October. All but 3 were South African. Yes, and also, so these are some of the stories making waves this morning on myjoyonline.com. Let me touch on a few of them before we go. Let's look at the full stories that are here. Now, first of all, this one says, show us the money. Comac CEO demands full disclosure on Dumsor levy windfall. Let's look at that story. It says that the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Comac, Dr. River Singh, upon is demanding full transparency on proceeds from the controversial Dumsor levy as government moves to ease fuel prices. Now, government has announced plans to remove some taxes and margins on fuel to cushion consumers. The decision, communicated by Felix Kwachiofosu, follows a cabinet meeting on Thursday to assess global economic pressures, including rising fuel costs driven by Middle East tensions involving the United States, Iran, and Israel. Now, reacting on PM Express Business Edition, hosted by George Wiafi, Dr. Opon described the move as both expected and surprising. He says that I don't know what to call it. I quote, I don't know what to call it, whether expected or surprised. I say expected because I believe we needed this kind of intervention. Surprised because I don't know why government would take a decision like this when the war indeed today has been halted, he said. And he noted that the timing raises questions, especially as global global benchmark prices begin to stabilize. Despite reservations, he welcomed the policy direction, and Dr. Opon cautioned that any relief at the pumps may not be immediate, and he said clarity is now needed on which taxes and margins will be adjusted. And so the story goes on and on, yes. But of course, yesterday the president met with his cabinet ministers, and the decision that was taken was that they were going to, slash or remove some of the taxes, and I think specifically the the D levy, what people call D levy. In fact, it's a full tax, and so energy tax also, yes, but people call it D levy, Dumsor levy, in fact. Anyway, but yes, so governments decided to actually remove some places that is this the right time, because the reason why you are even doing this is the Middle East tensions that are actually going on, but Trump and U.S., Iran, Israel, there's a 2-week the agreement, so it might not necessarily. We've seen oil prices fall gradually. I think right now we're doing about $95 per barrel or so, and so maybe the timing is wrong. But of course, we also think we need a relief for the ordinary Ghanaian, and so that is it. But the president says in the next pricing window we're going to see that he's actually taxed the finance minister and also the energy minister to take that and work around it. So maybe we'll be seeing some changes in the prices of fuel soon, maybe in the next pricing window. And so let's all look forward to that. Yeah. Anyway, so some other stories here. Now, still, this one says a right move, but wrong timing. Okay, so the same points being made by Comac CEO as he questions government's delay on fuel prices. Also, Mahama enforces fuel coupon ban for ministers as cabinet moves to slash fuel taxes. Now, in a move aimed at demonstrating leadership by example during a period of volatility, President John Mahama has issued a stern directive enforcing a total ban on fuel allowances and coupon communications. Felix Kwachiofosu, during an emergency press briefing on Thursday, 9th April 2026, following a high-level cabinet session. Now, as Ghanaians grapple with rising fuel costs at the pump, the president used a cabinet meeting to remind his team that the era of state-funded fuel for personal use is over. To provide immediate relief to the general public, cabinet has ordered the ministers of finance and energy to remove several taxes and margins on fuel. And this intervention is expected to trigger a significant reduction in fuel prices effective the next pricing window, roughly 1 week from today. The minister explained that while Ghana's economy remains strong, the inflation plummeting to 3.2% and the city showing remarkable stability, external shocks from the conflict tensions in the Middle East stifling oil passage through the Strait of Hormuz have driven up global crude prices and insurance premiums. In a strategic move against rising transport costs, the government has also ordered expedited deployment of 100 newly acquired Metro Mass buses, and these buses will be funneled into high traffic corridors to provide a cheaper alternative to private transport operators. And Kwachu also revealed that this is the only first wave, with another 200 buses expected by November. And so, yes, that's the story there. President Mahama is actually reminding his ministers to actually forget. It's reminding them to in terms of the coupons or the allowances and the allocations that they get, the full allowances that they get, and he's telling them that it must be removed. And he's actually ordered the ministers, the minister in charge, to actually handle all of that. And also in terms of transport, we've been talking about the issues on our road. Where some people are charging higher fares because there are shortage of buses at certain peak hours and all of that. And so governments brought in some 100 newly acquired Metro Mass buses. And so President has also instructed the transport minister to actually start working towards the deployment of same. And so that is going to happen soon. Hopefully, we also see some relief there. And so kudos government. We are seeing a lot of initiatives to be able to reduce burdens on the Ghanaian people, and I think that is commendable as well. All right, some other stories here. This one says that Ghana less exposed to global oil disruptions, and that is coming from Fitch. Let me touch on that story, or let me look at that story shortly, and then we can move on to some other portals. Now, Ghana's energy security is expected to remain stable despite global oil market tension, supported by the resumption of operations at the Tema oil refinery. A report by Fitch Solutions, an international rating agency, said that the development would reduce the economy's exposure to external supply disruptions. The report said recent volatility in global energy prices, driven by geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and strained relations among major oil producers, had raised concerns for import-dependent economies. However, it said Ghana was relatively insulated following the restart of operations at the Tema oil refinery in December 2025 after years of shutdown due to debt and maintenance challenges. Now, the report said the resumption restored domestic refining capacity. That is good news. Also, this one, it continues to say that data from the Finance Ministry and the Bank of Ghana indicated that Ghana's hydrocarbons trade position was nearing balance, suggesting that higher crude prices would not necessarily worsen the current account. Now, under favorable conditions, it said higher prices could boost export receipts from crude oil, and consequently, the report projected Ghana's current account surplus at about 4.2% of GDP in 2026, above the historical average deficit recorded between 2010 and 2024. So that is the story there. Let's look at some other portals before we wrap up. On citynewsroom.com, the top story here says that comply with tier 2 pension rules or face persecution. NPRA warns employers. Also, we support publican AI system. Importers and Exporters Association said that. Also, COPEC says fuel tax cuts long overdue. And also OSPKs, let the real party defend itself. Professor H. Kwesi Prempe. Also, Owabi Barikese water treatment plant risks shutdown over pollution, and 9 dead after boat capsizes on Volta Lake. And Atokle, not above the law, Yoko tells Volta Regional House of Chiefs. And also Mahama orders fuel tax cuts after emergency cabinet meeting. And FDA and police probe dead fish at Tema shipyard. And so those are some of the stories there. Let's see fuel prices. CEMSE tells government. Also, 9 dead after boat capsizes on Volta Lake. Quite unfortunate. Mahama orders fuel price reduction. And Amaliba says that Toyota Voxy ban non-negotiable. Also, Attorney General says that OSP Act breaches constitution. And also this one says police intensify security in Bosomtwe after deadly communal clash. And Ghana National Fire Service contains fire at Obinim's guest house in Accra. Also 2 arrested over robbery of UDS students and use academic research to tackle Ghana's waste crisis. And that is coming from an environmental consultant. World Bank, Sub-Saharan African growth too low to meet jobs demand. And also TVET enrollment surges to 165,000, outpacing infrastructure. And also Samuel Oku to seek parliamentary probe into drug smuggling vessel. And report says that 3,570 Toyota Voxies registered in 2 months and close to 2025 total. All right, so that says that some other portals here on graphiconline.com. Police arrest Kaswa pastor over viral video threatening vice president. I think these are this is an old story here, but let's move on to other ones. On bnftonline.com, NPRA recovers 27 million Ghana cedis from defaulting employers, and also institutional strengthening and prudence borrowing top agenda. It comes with a picture of the finance minister, and so I'm sure it definitely has something to do with his ministry or him his ministry. Now, Mahama to headline the Africa Debates 2026. Also, SIGA denies directing SOEs to favor SIC insurers, and also Fiscal Council members nominated. On the High Street Journal, says that cabinet's energy for water cut, smart move or risky trade-off. And also authorities investigate fish deaths at Tema shipyard, issue safety warning. Also IMF moves to strengthen Ghana's banking sector stability. These are some of the stories on the High Street Journal. Let's look at the international front. Israel and Hezbollah exchange strikes overnight as Trump criticizes Iran's handling of Hormuz Strait. Also, Melania Trump denies ties to Jeffrey Epstein and urges hearing for survivors. And Taiwan opposition leader meets Xi Jinping in Beijing. Also, Russia and Ukraine agree to truce for Orthodox Easter. And so those are some of the stories there as well. On BBC Africa, spreading Islamist insurgency dominates Benin's presidential campaign. Also, U.S. has let in 4,499 refugees since October, and all but 3 were South African. Also, Gambia appoints British barrister to prosecute gruesome Jammeh-era crimes. Also, U.S. wants citizens to reconsider Nigeria travel on safety grounds. And Kenya disputes UN report on rape allegations against its Haiti personnel. Also, Reuters, U.S.-Iran ceasefire deal shows strain ahead of talks with oil flows squeeze. Also, U.S. Republicans block bid to rein in Trump-Iran war powers. Also, NATO's roots tells allies Trump wants Hamas pledges within days. Diplomats say that. Also, UK's Starmer says Iran conflict shows Britain must take a new path. On Reuters Africa, Djibouti's Gwele expected to win sit term after age limits lifted. And also, Pope Leo heads to Africa on ambitious tour to urge help for continent. And also, South African rand slips in early trade, and also US-Iran talks in focus. And so these are some of the stories making waves this morning, and those are some of the stories that we will actually mention on the our news review segment. But that'll be all for that this morning. We're going to get into our business news this morning as well. So please stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. So trying to get that. So my colleague will join us shortly for that. But let me touch on a few other stories. Let me touch on accusing Diageo's 2.3 billion sale US dollar Western Nigeria villages. And so these are some of the stories there as well. On Reuters, with risk. And also, airline pilots fear retribution over refusing to fly in Middle East. Aviators group say. Also, U.S. considers new crackdown on Chinese telecom companies. And also, China will not tolerate independence of Taiwan. She anxiety, and this one also says that Hamas at near standstill as Iran wants ships to keep to its waters. And also, Saudi Arabia says attacks on cut oil output and east pipeline flow. All right, so these are some of the stories making waves this morning, and we'll get into our business news right away. Please stay tuned.
It's also time for business news. Coming up in the headlines, World Bank forecasts slower growth for Ghana in 2026 amid rising inflation risk. Also coming up, economic analysts explain and many others. Do stay with us. I am Mami Ifwa Kwejwa. Now the details of the stories. The World Bank has projected a slowdown in Ghana's economic growth for 2026, with gross domestic product expected to expand by 4.8%. This marks a decline from the 6% growth recorded in 2025, signaling a more cautious outlook influenced by both domestic and global uncertainties. Inflation is also projected to rise slightly, ending 2026 at 9%, above government's 8% target. The report highlights external pressures including global economic volatility, geopolitical tension, and rising energy prices as key risks to stability. Despite these concerns, strong domestic demand and favorable commodity prices, particularly cocoa, are expected to support economic activity. Analysts, however, warn that sustained policy discipline will be crucial to maintaining stability. Now, the World Bank says the African Continental Free Trade Area has the potential to raise real incomes across the continent by between 7 and 9% and lift up to 40 million people out of extreme poverty by the year 2035. The African Continental Free Trade Area, which was launched in January 2021, aims to create a single market for goods and services among the African Union member states. Despite its promise, the World Bank knows that the full benefits of the agreement have yet to be realized. According to its April 2026 Africa Economic Update, achieving these gains will depend on strong implementation, effective monitoring, and enforcement of agreed commitments, as well as increased investment in regional infrastructure. The report highlights that while tariff reductions may boost trade within Africa, major challenges remain. These include poor transport and logistics systems, inefficient customs processes, limited digitalization, and high domestic trade costs. It also points to the persistence of non-tariff barriers such as a selective export ban, which continue to hinder intellectual property, competition policy, and greater inclusion of women and youth in trade. However, it cautions that progress is expected to be gradual due to the high cost of required investment and the need for deeper institutional and regulatory reforms. Moving on, economic analyst Emmanuel Boateng has underscored the critical role of exchange rate movement in determining fuel prices in Ghana, stressing that global oil prices are only part of the equation. Speaking on Business Breakfast on Zed, Mr. Boateng explained that although Ghana produces crude oil, a significant portion is exported in its raw state, while the country relies heavily on imported refined petroleum products for domestic. Fluctuations in the value of the Ghana cedi directly affect the cost of bringing petroleum products into the country.
We all have to appreciate the fact that the oil we found here in Ghana that we drill is only in its raw state and cannot be used. Trust me, we export that oil. We export it for revenue, and we go back and import refined oil to be used. So all the oil that we use here in Ghana, I mean not all, but a significant majority of that is imported. And because we import, then then our currency becomes another major factor. Because if you are importing, right, and the currency is if you import with dollars, you don't use CD to import. No. You'd need your exchange rate to be relatively stable to help you. So yes, not only are we looking at global crude oil prices, we're also looking at exchange rate movements. And then of course domestic tax component, which is why we're having this discussion in the first place. So the point is that when global oil product, that directly impacts pump prices. So the exchange rate also plays an equally important role. A weakening CD makes imports more expensive, even if global oil prices are stable or cheaper.
You just heard economist Emmanuel Boateng speaking there. Now, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee is demanding that Exploco, a subsidiary of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, account for petroleum revenues accounting to $561 million and deposit the funds into the Petroleum Holding Fund. The call follows PIAC's 2025 annual report, which revealed that Exploco failed to remit the money between 2022 and 2024. PIAC chairman Richard Elima stressed that the funds belong to the people of Ghana and must be returned to the holding fund. He noted that despite repeated engagements, GNPC has refused to shift its position, creating a standoff over transparency and accountability in the management of petroleum revenues. The dispute underscores ongoing concerns about how Ghana's oil resources are being managed and the need for stricter compliance with revenue laws. To some other stories, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority has announced plans to prosecute employers who deduct pension contributions from workers' salaries but fail to remit the mandatory tiered benefits and restore confidence in the pension system. He described the failure to remit deductions as a serious offense and a violation of employees' rights. Mr. Zuma revealed that over 40 prosecutors have been trained nationwide to support enforcement actions against defaulting employers. Under Ghana's pension law, employers are required to deduct and promptly transfer contributions to licensed pension fund managers. Failure to comply attracts penalties, including a surcharge of 3% on outstanding amount. The NPRA warns that persistent defaulters could face court action and recovery proceedings. Employers are also being urged to register all workers with approved pension scheme discrepancies. The authority says although it prefers compliance, it would not hesitate to apply the law where necessary. Now, the president of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, Dr. George Ejekumdonko, says the bank will channel at least 63% of its commitment into private sector development under a new 5-year plan. Speaking at the bank's 24th annual general meeting, Dr. Donko explained that the 2026 to 2030 growth, resilience and optimization strategy is designed to accelerate job creation and innovation across West Africa. He added that sustainability will be central, with over 41% of resources dedicated to climate mitigation and social inclusion projects. To finance the plan, the bank aims to mobilize about $2 billion through capital markets, bond issuances, and new investors. Dr. Donko highlighted recent achievements, including a Fitch ratings upgrade from B stable to B positive, accreditation from the Green Climate Fund, and the Ministry of Finance has defended the use of the Publican AI system in clearing imports amid concerns from freight forwarders and other industry players. The introduction of the artificial intelligence-driven system forms part of the government's broader efforts to modernize customs procedures, improve efficiency at the ports, and enhance revenue assurance in the importation process. However, the rollout has faced massive pushback among stakeholders, with some freight forwarders questioning both the consultation process and the potential implications for their operations. Responding to these concerns, Head of Revenue Assurance at the Ministry, Victor Kofi-Beidu, said the role of extensive stakeholder engagement preceded the implementation, ensuring that key players within the import and logistics value chain were adequately involved. Ghana has taken a major step toward boosting food security through a new partnership with Ukraine. The Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, hosted a high-level Ukrainian delegation to accelerate the Feed Ghana program and explore the launch of a state-of-the-art agro-hub. The agro-hub will serve as a central hub for processing and distributing agricultural products, linking Ukrainian expertise with Ghanaian production. Ukraine will supply 5 million seed packets to vulnerable farmers and also support modern processing and storage technologies, including wheat flour facilities. The partnership aims to move Ghana from subsistence farming to a more commercial technology-driven model, reducing post-harvest losses, stabilizing prices, and boosting rural incomes. Officials say this collaboration could serve as a blueprint for enhancing food security across West Africa. And this is where we end business news. But before I go, let's take a recap of our stories. World Bank forecasts slower growth for Ghana in 2026 amid rising inflation risk. Also, economic analyst explains that exchange rate is a key driver of fuel prices, and Finance Ministry defends rollout of publican AI for import clearance. We came your way with details of these stories and many others from our studio here at number 6, Anyate Avenue, East Legon, Accra. For more news, you can log on to www.zmultimedia.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X at ZFMGH, and on TikTok and YouTube at Z Multimedia. Thank you for listening. Once again, I am Mami Ifwa Kwejwa. Nishrebi continues with BBC.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
In our quest to redefine modern living, Lakeside Estate proudly unveils a new wave of innovation and elegance. Introducing the all-new Starfish, our redesigned 3-bedroom home crafted for today's modern family. Step into a space where functionality meets finesse. The Starfish features spacious layouts, sleek contemporary finishes, and sits within one of Accra's most secure and master-planned communities. Enjoy more living space, a walk-in closet in the master bedroom, a modern fitted kitchen, and generous room sizes, all designed with your family's comfort in mind. Whether you're settling down or making a smart investment, the Starfish offers refined elegance, outstanding value, and long-term peace of mind. With a generous plot size of 60 by 100 feet, there's plenty of room to grow, including ample parking space. Choose the redefined Starfish, where modern living truly begins. Call our sales experts today on 020-477-5040 or 020-477-5042, or visit www.lakesideestate.com. Lakeside Estate, quality homes for all.
The stage is set, and 4 top giants are battling for the ultimate title at the Ghana Beverage Awards. Bell Aqua Active, Malta Guinness, Coca-Cola, and Vitamilk Double Chocolate. Only one can take the crown. Vote now at www.GhanaBeverageAwards.com or via the short code *920*207#. Voting is open till April 10, 2026. And guess what? It's free. The Ghana Beverage Awards is powered by by Global Media Alliance, supported by Perception Management International, E-Productions, Silverbird Cinemas, the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, the Consumer Protection Agency, the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, and Quick SMS. With media support from Ghana Web, MX24, Happy FM, YFM, YTV, Zed Multimedia, and the New Finder. Ghana Beverage Awards, inspiring excellence in Ghana's beverage industry.
Ladies, it's time to go deeper. Deeper in worship, deeper in the Word, and deeper in your walk with God. Michelle McKinney Hammond Ministries presents the Diva Principal Conference for Divine Inspiration and a Victorious Attitude, featuring Priscilla Shire, author, speaker, and star of War Room, Christy Watts, author, speaker, and former co-host of the 700 Club, plus Christy Bature, Inshira Otabel Alote, and Gifty Auntie. All hosted by best-selling author and international speaker Michelle McKinney Hammond. April 9th through 10th at ICGC Christ Temple. Admission is free. Registration is required. For more information and to register, visit thedivaprincipal.net. Let's go deeper together.
This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Just a few days ago, we heard the sad news. The passing of these great legends, Yao Sapon and Mami Tiwa. They were among the best voices to ever grace the Ghana gospel music and its scene. And today, we pay our homage to Yao Sapon and the Asoma Floor. May your souls rest in perfect peace. Help me quiet. I want your Priscilla, can you help me out? Help me sing.